snakes, rats, rat snakes, cakes made from menstrual blood, man-ladies with silicone members, a covenant of witches including one 4 foot tall with hair laced with bird droppings and other dirt down to her knees, all have their parts to play. Definitely a unique, thought-provoking book. 11% is set a couple of centuries in the future, where women have entire control over society. Men are confined in centers and are only allowed to be 11% of the population to allow for varied breeding. Religion is weird, and somehow Christianity has remained with some peculiar customs. We have 4 intersecting women, and we learn about their current lives as well as their past. I'm honestly not sure how to rate this book. It's a little out of my normal wheelhouse. The premise was unique and interesting, but also quite odd and sad. It was well translated, so the language didn't take away from the story. Such a different type of dystopian landscape that I wasn't expecting. I enjoyed the thought-provoking nature of the book. I was fascinated by the synopsis of this work, as well as the cover. The work is told using multiple points of views, but rather than being interspersed, they're each given their own larger section. This worked really well, as each section introduced the character of the next point of view. As the characters are from varied backgrounds, this helped to get situated in the world and with the character rather than being overwhelmed by jumping back and forth. That being said, I did feel like the characters were relatively flat overall. They were missing real oomph and development, which was disappointing, but were fine enough to not majorly detract from the work. There were aspects of the world building that were really well done, but these were all micro-level things, from the snakes and their version of Christianity to the witches and the rats. There was a lot of rich detail added into the setting that helped bring the world to life. Unfortunately, there was almost no world building on the macro level, which left the world feeling ungrounded. We don't have to know all the gritty details, but we need to know some details about how the world got this way, why things are the way they are. Referencing big events by a title but not really explaining what it is until much later in the book isn't enough. There's not much plot and the characters weren't as strong as they could have been. This read lacked much of the power that it could have had. This is a very weird book that had some strong and interesting aspects. Even though 11% is not for me, I believe others may well feel differently. It is well imagined, well written, and the world building is impressive. Readers into dark dystopian tales who are not squeamish about sexual content, squalid conditions, and other repellent subject matter may want to give this a whirl, or at least read a sample.